Is guilty of making the same shallow judgments that I did. And I've heard that men make judgments about women based on what their mothers look like because they anticipate that that's what their future wife might come to look like. So, to find out how true that is, we set up an elaborate scheme. We told the guys that they were going to meet my good friend Sarah and that we were flying my mom in all the way from St. Louis. They didn't know the major twist. My mom was actually going to be me in disguise. We started this whole process months ago, before I ever met any of these guys, with a process called live casting. We got the best special effects people from Hollywood who are known for doing monsters and aging in all the major Hollywood films. They covered my head with this special gel so that they could make an exact replica of my face. Honestly, it felt like I was being buried alive. Breathing in. A small fortune was spent to make sure that every detail was perfect. We knew that that was the only way that we were going to be able to fool the guys. The day that it was all going down, I woke up early in the morning to spend hours getting ready to become my mother. So I'm gonna have large nostrils, warts, crow's feet.
Yep.
In real life, my mom is beautiful, but to really put the guys to the test, we put them in an extreme situation and presented my mother as somebody who was overweight, old, wrinkled. To make me look overweight, I put on this really heavy bodysuit.
Oh my God.
And it was hot and humid and uncomfortable and hard to move in. And I had these chemicals put on my face that smelled like rubber cement. They stretched my skin out and put on a special makeup so that when you let go, your skin compresses and it causes all these wrinkles. And then I had age spots sprayed on my hands. I even had a wart on my face that had hair growing out of it.
Ew, you're cutting the hair coming out of my wart?
That's a little long.
Just for the record, my mother does not have any warts. There were just so many details. I had to wear false teeth. I had to wear glasses. I had to wear a wig. And I had to wear colored contact lenses to cover up the color of my eyes. The end result? I put on more than 30 years and over 100 pounds. Finally, everything was ready and everything was in place, and it was time to put the guys on the spot. First step was to make the guys think that I was somewhere else, so the thought that I could be the mother would never, ever cross their minds. To set that up, just as the guys were coming back to their house, we had a body double who looked like me, who was saying goodbye to my mother. From their vantage point, it looked like I was hugging my mom, and I jumped back into the car and drove off as they came in.
Well, they're leaving.
So the guys were sure they were seeing me leaving. This was the perfect plan. The guys think they're going to talk to my mom and my friend Sarah. But the trap is, when they go back to the living room, it's wired with hidden cameras and microphones, and I will hear everything they have to say about me as my mother.
Parents usually like me more than the kid does, so I don't have anything to worry about.
Still ahead,
What makes a woman sexy to you?
will all the guys fall for the act, or will Larissa's cover be broken?
Nice to meet you. This is Meek.
Who will take the bait and pay the price when they are faced with the giant reveal tonight?
Today, we all faced a grueling interrogation by Larissa's mom, Mrs. Meek, and one of her best friends, Sarah.
I'm just gonna go and be myself, man. Like, I won't stick my foot in my mouth.
Like we're getting ready to go to the guillotine or something like that. Let's stick our heads.
We were sitting at the kitchen table, and, you know, we were going to be brought in to meet both of them one by one.
Burritos first.
Nice.
I'm sure she's a top Ukrainian Russian woman. You know?
Hey, you got nothing to worry about, man. Just be yourself.
I know.
You'll be all right.
I know, I'll be good. I'm excited. I like moms. First thing she tell me is get a haircut.
If Larissa asked you to cut your hair, would you do it?
Absolutely.
The first guy up for the interviews was Fredo, and I have to admit, I was really nervous because I was hoping that nobody was going to catch on to this.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
Short hair.
He had no idea, and he was taking every question seriously.
What makes a woman sexy to you?
Her personality. Really important. Personality is a huge, huge thing for me. I didn't try to get on her mom's good side. I went in there being myself as I usually do. I think it's kind of a, you know, an odd situation for her walking into something like this just as well as it was for all of us.
It was so hot and so uncomfortable, but if I gave any hint away that it was me, it would have blown the whole thing. If one guy knew, every guy would know, and this experiment would not have been a success.
Tim, describe the most emotionally damaging thing you've ever done to a woman.
I don't know if he was nervous to look at me, like he was afraid to look at me. Didn't have a whole lot of eye contact, so I was a little nervous to think maybe Jim might have figured it out.
Basically, she was in the chair firing questions at us, and, you know, she was very straightforward, and I'm sure, based on what I know of Larissa, that she's a nice woman. She has to be, you know, to raise a daughter like that.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
I mean, I was expecting, hi, what's your name? What do you do? Stuff like that.
Oh, physical. Physical.
When that came flying at me, I was like, wow.
I'm gonna throw something out there, bad hands or something, maybe.
Why is that?
I don't really know. I was just throwing something out there and say something that caught me off guard. I'm sorry. Bad hands, that was probably my worst answer ever. I don't know where it came from. It was just the first thing that popped in my mind.
After the first couple interviews, maybe after Jim, I started to get more comfortable with it, and I was a little less nervous about the guys catching on.
What makes a woman sexy to you?
A lot of things. Sense of humor, a good head on her shoulders, stuff like that.
Cool.
Sarah seemed really nice, so I was trying to focus on her, and Larissa's mom was doing much like I would do, just sit back and take in the situation.
Nice to meet you.
I looked at Mrs. Meek when I first walked in.
Tony.
Didn't really see, you know, any of Larissa in the mother.
Larissa finishes a new painting and is obviously proud of it, but you hate it. Do you give her an honest critique?
Personally, I think I would like anything that she did. Miss Meek was probably raised as a traditional Ukraine girl by her grandparents. I'm sure she has no grasp of this kind of show and why someone would want to do this, and I think she was a little embarrassed.
Would you have a problem living next to your mother-in-law?
She obviously wasn't having a good time being there. Maybe she was a little self-conscious about being on camera herself, possibly because of her weight. But I answered the questions honestly, and I think it went well.
It's extremely important that Mrs. Meek liked me because in my experience of dating, the mother is a gigantic influence on a female's life. Huge. Hi. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Meek. I walked in, and her mother looked pretty strict.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
Physically unattractive quality. I didn't really look at her too closely because I was a little nervous. I didn't want to look directly at her. She had a look on her. Bad. You know, it was kind of like some burning eyeballs on me. Bad here. Mrs. Meek was, you know, is an attractive woman, though.
So you're given tickets to Game 7 of the World Series, okay?
Okay.
And it is the Boston Red Sox.
I just heard that, and all of a sudden, you know, I knew it was coming. I didn't hear what the other team was. It doesn't matter. It's Game 7 of the World Series.
But sadly, Larissa has an art exhibit opening.
Okay.
And it's on the same night.
You're killing me here.
What are you gonna do?
It's the worst case scenario. Definitely, without a doubt, go to the art exhibit. Can't tell my buddies this. They'd kill me. That would be important for me to do that, to show that I was interested in. I would take a ration of crap from all my buddies, but if I wasn't interested in what she did, then that would be wrong, and we probably shouldn't be in a relationship.
Hi.
I'm usually really good at meeting someone's mother and especially her best friend. Actually, it ends up that the mother likes me more than the girl that I'm pursuing. But it was pretty nerve-wracking going in there today.
Larissa tells me that you've done some questionable things since you've arrived.
Yes, I have.
Came out
blasting. She really did.
Describe the most emotionally damaging thing that you have ever done to a woman.
That I've ever done to a woman? Broken up with her.
I barely got a high end.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
Most physically unattractive? Oh boy. That's an interesting question. Someone who's just looks like she's lazy, doesn't keep herself in shape, so.
Wow. I'm sitting here thinking, oh boy, what did you just do? Thanks a lot, Michael. You just insulted me.
After I said that, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Larissa's mother shaking her head and writing something down, so obviously that wasn't a good enough answer for her.
The whole reason that Michael's answer was insulting was the fact that I'm sitting in this suit as an overweight person, and he's basically calling me lazy, that I let myself go. He had no idea that what he was saying could have been an insult. The thought went in his brain, and it went right out of his mouth without any precaution or any hesitation.
Thank you.
The guys were told that my mom was so upset after what Cardo said that she demanded to leave the island and go back home.
Apparently, Mrs. Meek took exception to some of the things that were said, and we really didn't get a chance to talk with her at all after that.
I can't wait to see what they say behind my back.
The hidden camera tapes that reveal all arrive at Larissa's door, along with another surprise.
I know that you're a heavy woman.
Up next, the full story.
Look at a girl's mother, and that's what your wife or girlfriend might look like down the road.
Her reaction to the video, and the impact at the elimination tonight.
Unconventional thinking means we see